I want you to picture a scene. A Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. A woman, let's call her Laura, is standing in her kitchen. She moves mechanically. She makes 2 cups of coffee. She always makes her husband's coffee the way he likes it. 2 sugars, no cream. She places the cup on the dining room table, where her husband has been working on his laptop for an hour. He doesn't look up. He just mumbles, thanks, at the screen. 2 hours later, Laura comes back to clean up. The coffee cup is still there, untouched. It's gone cold. She looks at the coffee and she realizes something terrifying. She's not angry anymore. She's not sad. She feels nothing at all. The invisibility has become normal. Laura's story isn't about a grand tragedy. There's no screaming, no infidelity. It's about something perhaps more terrifying, the slow erosion of a soul. Which leads us to the core question of today. How many more cups of cold coffee do you have to look at? How many more silent evenings? How many more ignored efforts do you have to endure before patience stops being a virtue and starts to become self-destruction? Welcome back. I am Dr. Raphel'voice. As a doctor of psychology, I've spent my entire career studying the core questions of happiness, how to find peace within ourselves, and how to build healthy, functional balance within our families and relationships. Today, we are not talking about the beginning of a relationship. We are talking about something much harder, the possibility of its end. There is a room, perhaps in your own home, that holds a silent question. A question that only comes out in the weakest hours, at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep, lying with your back to the person beside you, when you're driving alone, when you look at your children and wonder, what am I doing? That question is, how do I know when it's over? You're not here because you just had a bad fight. Couples who fight at least still care. You might be here for the opposite reason. You are here because of the silence. You are here because you've realized that the loneliest feeling in the world isn't being alone. It's being lonely next to someone. You feel like a roommate, a business partner in the Raising Children LLC, a ghost in your own home. And you are here because you are terrified. You're terrified of making an irreversible mistake. You're terrified of hurting your kids, terrified of what your family will say, terrified of the judgment. And most of all, you're terrified to admit to yourself, this us that I fought for, that I sacrificed for, maybe it doesn't exist anymore. I want to be clear. I never tell someone they should get a divorce. No one in the world, especially a stranger on YouTube, has the right to make that decision for you. But as a psychologist, I can offer you a framework for clarity. I can help you sift through the chaos, the guilt, and the fear so you can find the honest answer for yourself. The goal today is not to push you to leave. The goal is to help you distinguish, perhaps for the first time, between a bad patch and a dead end. A bad patch is when a good couple hits bad circumstances, work stress, young kids, financial trouble. A bad patch needs patience and effort. A dead end is when the relationship itself, not the circumstance, is broken beyond repair. How do you know which one you're in?
Laura's story of the cold coffee illustrates the first and perhaps most subtle sign that a marriage is heading for a dead end. The first sign is indifference. Listen to this carefully. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. When you still fight, when you still yell, when you still cry, it means you are still fighting for something. There is emotion, there is energy, there is a spark, even if it's a spark of anger, still trying to connect. Anger can be addressed. Anger means you still care. But when indifference creeps in, that is a different kind of cold. You've stopped fighting, not because things are resolved, but because you've unconsciously concluded that it's no longer worth the effort. You no longer get upset when they're late and don't call. You no longer feel hurt when they forget an anniversary. You just don't expect anything anymore. And that absence of expectation, that is indifference. One of the great researchers of relationships, Dr. John Gottman, spoke about this. He could predict divorce with over 90% accuracy by looking for 4 things, the 4 horsemen. But the single biggest predictor, the deadliest poison, was not criticism, not defensiveness. It was contempt. Contempt is indifference turned malignant. It's when you look at your partner and you don't just feel frustrated, you feel disgust. You roll your eyes when they talk. You sneer when they express an opinion. You mock them, even just in your head, for the way they eat, the way they laugh, or the mistakes they make. You talk down to them as if you are the adult and they are the annoying child. Contempt is an acid that dissolves the foundation of respect, and no love can survive without respect. Ask yourself this question right now and be honest. When you think of your partner, do you feel anger or do you feel contempt? Do you want to scream at them? Anger. Or do you just wish they would disappear? Contempt. If it's anger, there may be hope. If it's contempt, you are in the danger zone. Now, let's talk about a different story. The story of Michael. Michael wasn't in a silent marriage like Laura. He was in a war. Michael and his wife had been in a loop of criticism and defensiveness for a decade. Every small conversation, who forgot to take out the trash, who paid what bill, escalated into an all-out war about their character. They used the kids as chess pieces. Well, if your mother wasn't so stressed, maybe your father would want to come home earlier. Tell your father his kid's tuition is due. Michael told me, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells every day. I wake up and the first thing I think is, what is she going to be angry about today? I'm not myself anymore. I'm this anxious, defensive version of who I used to be. This brings us to the second sign. You have already left emotionally. Your physical body is still there. You still sleep in the same bed. You still pay the same bills. But your mind, your heart, your energy, they've moved out long ago. This sign has 2 parts. 1, you are planning an afterlife. This is a secret, internal sign that only you know. Pay attention to your daydreams. When you think about the future, a vacation, a new home, retirement, is your partner in that picture? Or have your fantasies started to change? Do you find yourself dreaming of a small, quiet apartment that's all your own? Do you see yourself traveling alone? When your brain starts building a detailed exit plan, it's because it's trying to save you. I had a client admit she'd been secretly looking at apartment rentals for 6 months. Another started a separate bank account just in case. Another, like Michael, started working out obsessively not for his health, but because, as he admitted, he wanted to look good on the market again. This is your subconscious screaming at you. When you start investing in a plan B for your life, it often means you've lost faith in plan A.
2. You have stopped sharing. This is a clear sign of emotional departure. Your partner is no longer your person. You get a promotion at work. Who do you call first? Your best friend? Your mother? You get bad news from the doctor. Do you tell them or do you handle it yourself? Because explaining it to them is more exhausting than the news itself. When you stop sharing the small victories and the private fears, you have cut the final thread of intimacy. You have decided, unconsciously, that it is easier to do it on your own. You have already started your single life, even while you are still married. This is critically important, and it goes back to Michael's story. You cannot be the only one rowing the boat. You cannot save a marriage by yourself. It takes 2 to break it, and it takes 2 to fix it. Have you tried? Have you really tried? I'm not talking about just hoping things get better. I'm talking about deliberate effort. Have you said, calmly, at a time of non-conflict, I am not happy. We are in trouble. I miss what we used to be. I want to fix this. Are you willing to go to counseling with me? Look at their response. If their answer is a wall, no, I'm not the problem, you are. Counseling is useless. If you don't like it, you can leave. If they refuse, blame you, or won't even admit there's a problem, you are getting a very clear answer. They are telling you they are not willing to fight for this. Or maybe they say yes, they agree to go to counseling, but they show up and sit there with their arms crossed. They let you do all the work. They take no accountability for their part. They are giving you an answer too. You cannot change someone who does not want to change. And you cannot love enough for two people. A healthy relationship is a 50-50 effort. When it becomes 90-10 for a long period of time, it is no longer a relationship. It is a burden. If you were sitting here and nodding along, if you recognize the indifference, the contempt, and you've checked these 3 boxes, I know how you feel. Scared. Guilty. But you are not done. Before anyone makes a life-altering decision, I ask them to pass it through 2 final filters. 2 last questions to make sure you are acting from a place of clarity, not chaos. Final filter question 1. Am I running from something or running toward something? This is the grass is greener syndrome. It is incredibly dangerous. Be honest. Is your marriage truly unsavable? Or does it just seem that way because you just met someone exciting at work? Are you comparing your real, tired 15-year marriage to the initial thrill of a flirty text message? Are you running from a silent house, an indifferent partner, a deep-seated contempt? That is one thing. Or are you running toward a fantasy, a coworker who gives you the attention you crave, an idea of an exciting single life? You must make your decision in a vacuum. You must judge your marriage on its own merits, not in comparison to something external. If you leave because there is someone else waiting, you will almost certainly carry all of your old problems right into the new relationship. You never spent the time to be alone, to do the inventory. And final filter question 2, and for me this is the most powerful one, the 5-year test. If I do nothing, how will I feel in 5 years? Close your eyes. Imagine it. It is 5 years from today. Everything in your marriage is exactly as it is right now. No better, no worse. The silence is the same. The contempt is the same. The loneliness is the same. Now imagine your future self. 5 years from now, you, looking back at you today, the one sitting here watching this video. What do they say to you? Do they say, "Thank you for staying. Thank you for sticking it out. It was worth it"? Or do they look at you with a profound sadness and say, "Why? Why did you waste 5 more years? Why did you choose numbness over a chance? I could have been happy. We could have been at peace. Why were you so afraid?" Your answer to that question, that first gut punch answer that comes before your brain can say, "but," that is often the most honest answer you have. The decision to end a marriage is one of the loneliest, most agonizing things a human being can go through. It is like surgery. No one wants surgery. It's painful, it's scary, it's messy, and it leaves scars. But sometimes a sickness has spread so far that surgery, for all its risks, is the only path to survival. Sometimes, cutting away a part that has died is the only way for the rest of you to truly live. This video is not advice to leave. This is an invitation to stop lying to yourself. This is permission to be brutally honest. To look at your life not as you wish it was, but as it is. You deserve peace. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be heard. You deserve a life where you do not feel invisible. Whatever your answer is, after all this hard reflection, to stay and fight with everything you have, or to leave and begin rebuilding from the ashes. Own it. Choose it. Choose it consciously. Choose it bravely. And choose the path, no matter how hard, that leads you to peace, not regret. Thank you for listening.